In 2013, I got married. I know, we're cute. Due to a letter from the NHS saying my wife was to work on the Isle of Wight, we swiftly found ourselves swapping this for this. Since setting up a video production company on the island, I have found things that are amazing, surprising, and sometimes just weird. Welcome to my record of all these things. At the time of filming this, I've been living on the Isle of Wight about 2.5 years. One Sunday in 2014, on my way to church, I found the road blocked by all these people walking. And this is how I found out about Walk the Wight, a 26-mile walk across the Isle of Wight that happens every year, that people willingly put themselves through. A little bit of background on me. I'm Nigerian. And there, if we walk, it's because there's yet another fuel shortage and the car is in a queue at the filling station. So it was with great trepidation and a David Attenborough-like sense of curiosity that I approached Walk the Wight 2015 to see what it was all about. First things first, it meant getting up at 6 a.m. on a Sunday. And then making my blurry-eyed way to Bembridge Airport, the official start point of Walk the Wight, only to have my Herculean effort rubbished by people like this.
We arrived at 5 o'clock this morning, got up at 3:30.
I got here at 4:30, it was dark. And I'll probably be in the Needles till about 8 o'clock tonight.
Thanks, Katie. More from her later. It was actually quite a rush seeing the big crowd of people and feeling the excitement of some, the fear of others, and for another set of people, the sheer ignorance of the crazy thing they had let themselves in for.
It's good, isn't it?
One of the first people I bumped into was this guy. You know I had to ask him what the deal was.
I'm Sandown Town Crier, and they asked me to come along and meet and greet all the walkers as they come through. We started them off at 6 o'clock, the first ones to go. And we did the official sort of goodbye wave up at the end, up by the tent. And the rest of my crew, they work in the white tent, and they're from Sandown Rotary, and they check in all the people as they come in, so they got a much harder job than me.
With people limbering up in serious gear and fancy gear, I found myself someone who could let me in on what was occurring.
It's in the field, and there's also some catering.
Remember her?
Walk the Wight is the hospice's biggest event of the year. It raises the most money of all the events that it runs, and it's for the hospice, which is end-of-life care on the island. So we are able to help people on the ward in our day centre or in the community in their own homes at the end of their lives, so that they're comfortable and pain-free. And that's what everyone's raising money for today. In the time that it's been happening, this event, it's raised over £3 million. Hoping to raise £250,000 this year for the community team. So everyone who's arriving today is either raising sponsorship or is making a donation. In the tent at the moment we've got a shop happening, people are buying sunflowers and t-shirts, we've got people's progress cards being signed so that when they get to the end they know how long it took them to do it. We've got also people registering and basically just absorbing all the atmosphere, and they're going out the gate, crossing the line, and this is the start of 26.5 miles, so it's a pretty momentous start for some people. They may stop along the way, but they're hoping to get to the Needles, a lot of them, so yeah.
I then decided to join the walkers for a short while. At this point, I'd like to tell you I walked the 26 miles and got amazing stories of courage and perseverance such as this.
It's been great. I've only been walking for 5 minutes. I feel fantastic. I feel like I could walk around the world.
From all who participated, but no. I carved my own Walk the Wight route, which largely involved a car. Before leaving me to my motoring ways, John had let me in on his plan for the day.
If I could get to Carisbrooke in time to leave by about 1, then it was actually worth keeping going, and I'd get the bus home from the Needles. But beyond that, it's sort of, well, it's touch and go. The trouble is, I live in Carisbrooke, so when I get to Carisbrooke, there's the 8 Bells, and I think, well, shall I go to the 8 Bells and have an all-day breakfast, or shall I keep going? Tough choice.
Following John's tip-off, I decided to skip 10 miles and see what was going on at Carisbrooke Castle. I'll let Jamie explain.
My name's Jamie. I'm partner at Host Res Dixon, but also a member of the Cowes Rotary Club, who got us all involved, and the Rotary Clubs are very involved across the whole of the walk, doing general marshalling and keeping things in check. Carisbrooke Station is actually one of the few places on the walk where we've actually got three things going on. We've got a start here, which is for the second half of the walk. We've also got people coming through that started at Bembridge. They come through here as a halfway point. And we've also got the finishes for those that don't want to go beyond Carisbrooke. We've got refreshments here. There's Vector Sunrise that provide a cafe, burgers, bacon rolls, teas, coffees, cakes, that sort of thing, refreshments. We've got 1,500 bottles of water here. Hopefully by the end of the day there won't be any. They'll all be given out.
Speaking of water, I decided to chat to the ladies at the water station to catch their stories. Sorry. Okay, can you do it again?
We've been doing the water station here now for 6 years, and we do it especially as we've lost people who've died at the hospice, and my husband and friends, haven't we? So it's just something we love to do, and we have fun, we laugh, we wear our silly things, but no, it's a good thing to do, I must say. We hope we'll be here next year.
Long may it continue. At this point, I decided to try and track down the place where I was first introduced to Walk the Wight. I knew it was somewhere in this general area, and after some frenzied driving around Newport Golf Club, a hero of a man who was stewarding led me to this. The start of a descent down a hill in Blackwater that I shall refer to as Blackwater Hill. This would eventually lead to the road I originally got stopped on in 2014. So I joyfully joined all the descenders on my pilgrimage and made my way down to this point. The road in the distance is the point I had been searching for. But this was close enough for me. Satisfied that my pilgrimage was over, I decided to jump back in the car and head to church. As you've been paying attention, you've probably realized the problem with my plan. The car is still at the top of the hill. So I sucked it up, found some space in the torrent of people coming down the hill, and made my slow, arduous way back up the hill. At this point, a word of advice. If you're walking down a hill with a whole bunch of people, and there's this one guy who's walking the other way up the hill with a camera, and you go, you know what, I guess what's going to be really, really funny. Nobody else would have thought of this. I'm going to go, oi mate, you're walking the wrong way. Don't. It wasn't funny the first time I heard it, and you, number 15, are still not funny. After a quick sprint up Blackwater Hill.
Thank you. All right.
And the break where I went to church.
Oh, I can't stay. And then upset. Huh? That's it. Oh, sorry.
I went back to Carisbrooke due to something one of the water ladies had said to me. So you just sit back and take it easy while all these people walk around
well,
and
at the moment, later on it should get busy, and when the halfway walkers come through, it gets more of a social atmosphere here.
I grabbed a couple of finishes to see what it had been like for them. You finished walking like what? How many miles do you reckon it was?
11. 10 and a half, 11.
So we set up this morning at 8:10 from Bembridge. I don't know what time it is now. It's probably taken us approximately 4 hours. We had a quick beer stop at Arreton. The reason we've done the walk is in aid of both the Island Hospice, the Old Man Bank Hospice, and the Peter Westrop Memorial Trust, which is another charity quite close to our heart.
How do you feel now that you've collected your medal?
Happy.
And tired.
Happy and tired.
I just didn't move the foot. Yeah.
So what was it actually like doing 11 miles with a baby on your back?
It's pretty irritating actually, yeah. No, she was very good. She fell asleep for half of it, and the rest of the time she was just quite happy, so no, she was alright, but I probably should have done a bit of training beforehand, so I'm a bit tired now, but yeah, good, really good fun.
What was the walk like?
Painful.
What was your favourite bit of the walk?
The countryside part.
Countryside. What did you like about the countryside?
Lots of mud.
On that recommendation, I decided to experience a little bit of this countryside.
You walk together before you push your dad off. That's it, come on.
Oh, well, I'm awake when you get
Okay, this is me pretending to be one of the walkers for a short period of time. It didn't last long. Once I saw this sign, I was back in the car. Next up on my improvised Walk the Wight was in the West Wight. Now, those of you who know your Isle of Wight geography will realize that there's quite a bit of space in between Carisbrooke and the West Wight, probably about 10 miles. I did actually try and stop in between Carisbrooke and the West Wight, but let's just say that a lot of these walkers can walk a lot faster than I can figure out where I'm supposed to drive to. But I managed to catch up with them at Freshwater Bay Golf Course. Beside Military Road, it's an inspiring stretch of land that I struggle to do justice to through video. If the sun had been setting when I filmed this shot, it would have been godlike. To borrow a phrase from a friend. I could have walked up there with them, but you've guessed it, I took a car. Despite taking a car, I still had to endure a steep hike, which brought me to Tennyson Down, where Lord Alfred Tennyson would go for walks every day while refining his works. He apparently said the air was worth 6p a pint. Thank you, Wikipedia. As people walked in the shadow of the Tennyson Monument, I thought it was time for a really windy reminder of why people were doing this to themselves in the first place.
My mum passed away 2 months ago today, actually, at the Old Man Back Hospice. It's a wonderful place. They really cared for my mum and supported the rest of the family. So we do what we can to raise some money, which is why we put ourselves through this today.
This was after 25 miles, making it totally understandable that people would stop to get a selfie or two to commemorate that the finishing line was in sight. Speaking of pictures, I took this of the lady and her daughter that is one of the best pictures I've taken. If anybody knows who they are, please let me know. I'd love to get this to them. But yeah, for a lot of people, this is the moment that they realize that the finish line was in sight, as some wimpy idiot noted. I've been driving around, getting ahead of all the walkers, and they've still been beating me to places, but just leaving Tennyson Down, walking down from Tennyson Down to get a car, to the final stop of Alum Bay. It's only about 1 mile away from Alum Bay, and boy, do these guys deserve a rest. Yes, Alum Bay, home of the world-famous Needles. However, more importantly for the walkers, the end of a long sojourn where they could be welcomed home by loving, adoring family and fans.
Oh, look at Brody, she can hardly walk. Well done, start. Oh, I can't keep going, sweetie. Well done.
See your mum, that's what it is.
Look at the sunburn on his arm.
Collect the ultimate Walk the Wight prize. And if they were lucky, have one of these while they reflect on what they've just done.
It feels good, despite the pain. There is a considerable amount of pain.
What they've been through.
A bit of trouble going through Bryson Forest, wasn't there, Kelly?
A little bit.
A bit.
I made it to Motterston Down and then got a lift off one of the ambulances.
How did you make it to Motterston Down?
Yeah, Tim carried me on his
carried you
shoulders.
to the checkpoint.
and then I got a lift off one of the ambulances to here, and I've just sat and waited here for them for the rest of the time.
And get a chance to ditch their working clothes. Here, I managed to track down Katie to throw the whole day into perspective.
It's been amazing. The weather's been amazing. It's been really hot. We've had to top up with water at some of the other points. We've had some really amazing people come across the finish line. We had one gentleman who's actually fighting cancer himself, and he was determined to walk from Bembridge to here. That was pretty special. It takes in excess of 330 volunteers to make today happen. We've had over 6,500 people walking, which is amazing, and lots of dogs, 400 dogs were registered, and many more I'm sure walked. And what we're hoping now is that we're able to raise £250,000 for our community team, which is just part of what we need to make sure that the essential service of caring for people in their homes when they come to the end of their lives, so that they have the best life they can and the best journey they can, is really important. That's what it's all about. So now we're just hoping that everyone gets their sponsorship in and we're able to support that care for another year.
Walk the Wight 2015. A real eye-opener. Through fields, forest and fresh water, through airports, castles and seaside, whether they were walking in memory of a loved one or for the sheer joy of it all, these walkers might, just might, have made me think about doing this at some point in the future.
Of disasters, where are the answers? Are they coming soon? Are they gonna be everything we thought they'd be? Everything they ought to be? Even if they weren't, would you really even have a choice to believe? Don't tell me today is not extraordinary. Don't tell me today there's nothing more than a random accident, a simple consequence of chance.